Hello, I'm your girl Marta Rachel, and this is the Marta Rachel Intake, episode 4. Welcome. This episode is all about moving, whether it's 20 blocks away to a whole other state or even a whole other country. I'm going to share ways to make your move as less stressful as possible. So let's get into it. Number 1 is definitely do your research. A lot of people sometimes want to move to a location just because they know someone who already lives there, whether it's family or friends. But you have to keep in mind that everyone's experience is unique. Someone may be completely happy in a place and you go and you're like, I like visiting, but this is just not my cup of tea. This is not for me. Someone might be actually miserable in a place and be, this is boring. I don't like it here. And you go and you're just like, wow, I could actually really envision myself living here. Everyone's experience is different. So you need to keep in mind and think about what is it that I want for myself when I'm moving. If you are looking to move to a place where you already know people, don't let them just tell you, oh yeah, it's cheap here, and you not do your research. Figure out what is the cost of living, because everyone at the end of the day has different expenses. What might be cheap for someone might not be cheap for the next. Keep in mind and think about what population am I going to be surrounding yourself with. You could do your research and say, oh, this is a great neighborhood. The crime rate is pretty low. If you have kids, the school district is awesome. And you go and imagine moving into a block where there's like Confederate flags down the whole block and you're a person of color. Imagine that. Horrible. So make sure that you do your research exactly. Okay, where am I going to exactly be living? Who are more or less my neighbors? Is it a diverse neighborhood? Is it a neighborhood of mostly white people, Asians? Am I comfortable with that? Whatever. Do I want to surround myself with people of my own ethnic background? You don't want to move into someone where you're not feeling safe, where you're not feeling welcome, where the vibe is off. So that's why research is vital when you're thinking about where is it that I'm going to move. What is the climate like? If you're a person that loves cold weather, you're not going to move to the south, right? To like Florida, Georgia, where the heat could get very intense, just vice versa, right? If you're a person that loves the heat, you're not going to go and move to Canada, because that's just not going to sync well with the soul. You have to make sure that the climate is something that you're able to deal with day in and day out. Even if it's just like you're a homebody and you're home most of the time, you still have to go outside and go get groceries and stuff. And you want to make sure that the climate around is something that you can tolerate and feel actually happy with. Can you make a living where you want to move to? You want to make sure that wherever you go, you're able to make a living, right? If you're a nurse, you look up, for example, the nearest hospitals. Do they have nursing jobs available? Or are you going to be looking for jobs? Is it really difficult to find Orlando job? Number 2, spend the most time possible that you can at the location that you're planning to move to. Because you want to make sure that it's not just a 1, 2, 3 day thing where you're there and it just seems like you're on a vacation. Hopefully you have the opportunity to spend more than 3 days there, so you can really see, is this really something for me? It's completely different when you go visit somewhere where you're going by passing, as opposed to really immersing yourself in the state, even if it's 20 blocks down, a whole nother country. Is this somewhere where I feel content in? Do I really see myself living here? If you love going to the bar, are there enough bars in your area? Do you have to drive a bunch of miles to get to one? If you love the beach, do you have to drive 2 hours to get to the beach, or are you able to get there in 15 minutes? These are all things that you have to consider in order for you to hopefully be happy when you make that move. Number 3, what type of lifestyle do you want to have? Do you want to move from a city to another city? Do you want to move, for example, from a city to more of a suburban, rural place? You have to really make sure, is this something that I want? And being a New Yorker my entire life, I wanted something a little bit more laid back, more chill, more calm. And that is exactly what the South offers us. What lifestyle do you want to have? Do you want the busy? And maybe that will help you to feel less homesick. If you feel that that's something that might be a situation where you're like, I'm moving, but I feel really homesick about it, or not. Number 4, Plan ahead what you want to do with your belongings. Personally, I thought, oh, we don't have a lot of things, until we really started packing, when we're like, whoa, there is no way we can take down all these things. So we had enough time. We didn't just wait to pack 2 to 3 days before moving. We had enough time to decide, okay, this is what we're definitely taking with us, and these are things that we're not ready to let go of, so we got a storage. If you look at your belongings, more often than not, there's gonna be stuff that you don't need to take with you, but you can actually sell. So make sure that you also have time to sell these things, whether it's on Facebook Marketplace or whatever channel you choose to sell your things on, eBay, etc. Sky's the limit. But make sure you have enough time to do this. You don't want to wait last minute and think, oh yeah, there's not a lot of things. And then you have to end up throwing things out that you're not ready to throw out because you just don't have enough space to transport them, or it's really unnecessary to do so. The earlier that you do this in your moving process, the less stressful it's going to be, as opposed to waiting last minute and then going crazy of like, I have too many things, I have to sell things, but I only have a week to sell them. What if nobody buys them yet? Oh my God, where am I gonna keep these things because we have to go by this date? Don't set yourself up for this stress that is completely preventable. And number 5, as cliche as it may sound, is follow your heart. Remember that everything is an experience and everything has its lessons. It's not a fail. You might go to a place, you might have done your research, you might have done things with time to make sure that you're not stressed. You might have even been there before a bunch of times, and you know, or you thought you knew for a fact that, okay, this is where exactly I want to move to. And then you get there and now reality sets in. And you're just like, you know what? I thought I made the right move. I thought this was for me, but I actually don't like it. I'm not as happy as I thought I was going to be. If that is the case, don't feel like it's you're a failure, like it's a waste of time. Because again, everything is a lesson. And it's why is this happening for you instead of why is this happening to you? You might end up moving back to where you came from. Or you might pack your bags and move to a whole different location that you didn't even think was a possibility. Everything is a lesson, and you're not going to know once you truly live there. And if you have to move after a year or 6 months or 2 years, then that's what it is. And that's perfectly okay. When it comes to following your heart, that is the key word, your heart. Don't expect everyone around you, family and friends, to necessarily cheer you on and be so happy for you. There's always going to be a commentator. There's always going to be, more often than not, a hater. Oh, you're moving up, but why you're not moving to a house? Why you're moving to another apartment? Oh, you're moving there, but why you moving there? It's kind of hood there. Oh, but why you moving so close? Oh, but why you moving so far? There's always going to be some type of comment. And at the end of the day, you have to do what is good and what's best for you. You're not hurting anybody by moving and by following your heart and just by venturing out. Moving from New York, where I've lived my entire life for over 30 years, was exciting for me. Moving out, I was ready. Yes, it's different. Yes, it's not the same where I could just hit up my friends, hit up my cousins and be like, oh, let's grab a drink, let's grab some lunch. Where I cannot physically see my parents how I would often see them. But I feel so happy here, and I feel so at peace because it's a major upgrade for my family and I. And we did what was best for ourselves, and I have no regrets. But were there some comments on the line by some people that, you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, do what's best for you. And that is all, my peeps. I hope that whoever comes across this video, if you're thinking of moving, this helps. If you're not and you know someone that is, please share with them. Peace and love. Stay tuned for episode 5 of the Marta Rachel Intake coming soon. And as always, peace and love, baby.